When you think about the first roads in the Americas, what comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's probably covered wagons, pioneers, maybe even the Romans. We tend to think that before Europeans arrived, the continents were vast, untamed wildernesses. But what if I told you that for thousands of years before Columbus, intricate and sophisticated road networks already crisscrossed North and South America? These weren't just simple trails. They were marvels of engineering that connected empires, facilitated trade, and shaped entire cultures. The real question isn't who built the first roads, but why have we forgotten the incredible road builders who were here all along? This is the story of a lost chapter in history, hidden right beneath our feet. How does an army respond to a threat? How does a ruler govern a sprawling territory? Roads enable trade, allowing different communities to exchange resources and ideas. And maybe most importantly, they are conduits for cultural exchange, spreading language, religion, and innovation. A society without roads is isolated. A society with a complex road network is dynamic, powerful, and connected. The presence of these extensive systems in the ancient Americas is undeniable proof of highly advanced civilizations. These weren't just small, scattered tribes. These were organized societies with the vision and capability to reshape the very landscape they lived in. Let's start in North America. Long before any Europeans set foot here, a massive city flourished near modern-day St. Louis. We call it Cahokia. At its peak, it was larger than London at the time. But perhaps the most stunning example is the Chaco Canyon road system in what is now New Mexico. Between the 9th and 13th centuries, the ancestral Puebloan people built over 400 miles of roads. What's astonishing is that these roads were incredibly straight, often ignoring difficult terrain. They were wide, sometimes over 30 feet, and clearly marked. Some scholars believe they were ceremonial pathways, linking important spiritual sites and aligning with astronomical events. These weren't just trails worn down by foot traffic. They were intentionally planned and constructed public works. A testament to a society with a deep understanding of engineering and a powerful shared vision. Now, let's travel south to Mesoamerica, the heartland of the Maya and Aztec civilizations. Here, road building reached an entirely new level of sophistication. The Maya, for instance, built elevated stone-paved causeways called sakbib, which means white roads. They were coated with white limestone stucco that would have glowed in the moonlight, making nighttime travel possible. These roads cut through dense jungles and across swampy lowlands. They incorporated advanced features like drainage systems to handle the heavy tropical rains. Some of these sakbibs stretched for over 60 miles, connecting major city-states like Coba and Yaxpet in the Aztec Empire, an extensive network of roads, bridges, and causeways connected their island capital Tenochtitlan to the mainland and the far reaches of their domain. These systems were so well maintained that relay runners could carry fresh fish from the coast to the Emperor's table in the high mountains in under 24 hours. This was infrastructure on a grand scale. And here's the most mind-blowing part. They built all of this without some of the key technologies we associate with road building. The ancient peoples of the Americas did not have wheels for transport. They didn't have draft animals like horses or oxen to pull heavy loads. They didn't have metal tools like iron plows or shovels. Everything was done with human labor, using stone, wood, and bone tools. Yet they managed to construct thousands of miles of roads that were perfectly engineered. Many of these roads show an incredible knowledge of their environment. They were aligned with astronomical phenomena like the rising and setting of the sun on the solstices. They followed geographic contours in a way that was both efficient and respected the sacredness of the landscape. Mountains, rivers, and caves were often integrated into the road's path as powerful spiritual markers. These weren't just paths from point A to point B. They were deeply woven into the cosmological and spiritual fabric of their world. So if these incredible networks existed, why don't we hear more about them? Why were they so thoroughly ignored by history? Part of the answer is that European colonists often built their own roads directly on top of the old indigenous ones. It was easier to follow an existing path than to carve a new one. In doing so, they literally buried the evidence of the original builders. But a more subtle reason is the dismissal of indigenous knowledge itself. For centuries, the histories of the Americas were written by Europeans who saw the people they encountered as primitive. Their oral traditions, which held the stories of these great engineering feats, were dismissed as myths. The physical evidence was misinterpreted or ignored. In essence, history was rewritten to fit a narrative of European superiority, erasing the complex civilizations that came before. So, why does uncovering this lost history matter today? It's not just about correcting the historical record. The principles behind these ancient roads offer profound lessons for our modern world. Think about sustainable design. These roads were built in harmony with the landscape, not in opposition to it. They utilized local materials and were designed to last for centuries with minimal environmental impact. This is a powerful model for landscape-based planning. They also remind us that infrastructure should be community-centered. These roads weren't just for commerce or military might. They were ceremonial, spiritual, and social spaces that connected people to each other and to their environment. As we face challenges like climate change and social disconnection, looking back at these ancient systems can inspire new, more holistic ways of thinking about how we design and build our own communities. They carried knowledge, culture, and a worldview that saw the human and natural worlds as deeply interconnected. What we see as forgotten paths were once the vibrant arteries of powerful civilizations. There's so much more history hidden right beneath our feet, waiting to be rediscovered. If you want to dig deeper into the stories the land has to tell, make sure to subscribe and join us on our next exploration. Thanks for watching.